Hello, I'm Toycat and welcome back to the video. Today I'm showing off 5 iconic real-world places built inside Minecraft. The reason I figured I'd do this is as kind of inspiration for anyone out there that's kind of lost as to what to build, because one of my favourite things to do on this channel is to hopefully inspire people to get back into Minecraft, and I figure a lot of people really enjoy building but just don't know what to build. Here's maybe, kind of like a showcase that you can just take something from the real world, build it inside Minecraft, and make it magnificent. So today I'll be showing you 5 amazing real-world places. Hopefully this inspires you in some way, or hopefully you just enjoy seeing some cool builds. If you do, like the video, let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot and lets us know you do like these sorts of videos. But with that said, let's get straight into the first one here, and this is a really bizarrely coloured one, like that is the London Eye, for instance, because this first one, as you can probably work out, is actually London but built inside Minecraft. So it's not all of London. If you don't know, London is a massive city and that would take literally hundreds of thousands, hundreds of people, but this is still a massive project that clearly took someone literally months to make, because it is a entire recreation of the Thames kind of area on both sides for a decent amount, with all the key monuments. So that over there is Big Ben, which I'm sure everyone's heard of and thing. This is London Bridge over here, the famous bridge everyone always takes photos of. That's the London Eye, the giant Ferris wheel. There's St. Paul's Cathedral. There's lots of really cool stuff, and if you don't know, I call London my home city, but I'm not actually from there. I just live kind of nearby. But yeah, London's my favorite city, and just seeing inside Minecraft is so cool. And even though this is probably a bit bigger than the project you want to embark upon if you're just like, I don't know what to build right now. I wonder what this flag is. But yeah, this is probably the project to embark upon if you're just like, I don't know what to build right now. It's still the sort of thing where you can look at and you can take any one of these builds and they're amazing by themselves. Like, this is a train station. Again, very bizarre. Maybe it's one of these things where it's got a texture pack that doesn't exist. I can't say for sure, but yeah, basically, this is just a train station right here. But ignoring the bizarre textures, still, it's just a really cool idea for a build, and you can take any single one of the giant buildings around here and you can kind of look at it the same way. That thing over there is the Gherkin. There's generally a town in London called the Gherkin, and yeah, it looks amazing. That's the Shard, and you can make any of these buildings by themselves, or any building from your home city, of course. And that's kind of the point I want to raise here. These are all going to be very different places, but all still built in Minecraft and also looking amazing. So the final couple of things I wanted to show off was just, first of all, this rather nice looking bridge over here. That's the giant ship, and this is Tower Bridge. This is what a lot of people call London Bridge, but that over there is London Bridge. Fun fact about London you might not know. But yeah, in all seriousness, this is London. It looks amazing. Oh, that's the Tay, apparently. It looks amazing, and I think, it's the sort of thing that can inspire you that even if you want to just build a tiny section of this, this is what you could eventually build up to with even a relatively small city. Like, the size dimensions of this is like 200 by 200, but it looks amazing from the center regardless, and yeah, this is a nice city build inside Minecraft, and London's a nice looking city anyway, in my opinion, of course, but I would say that. So yeah, let's move on to the second build inside Minecraft, shall we? Which is going to be just a little bit different, and let's go there now, actually. This is the Giza necropolis, very different to just kind of an urban build, because it takes place entirely in the desert, and although the one problem I have with this build is it is very, it all kind of blends in, it is still an amazingly done thing, because if you don't know, the Giza necropolis is where, the biggest pyramid in the world is, or something like that, the last standing, ancient one of the world, and it's a really cool thing. So ignoring this kind of slightly questionable, mask on this kind of cat statue thing, if you look around this place, it's just amazingly done in terms of the structures themselves. Again, ignore the face thing, but look around, the cat structure, really well done. Look around at the way this is terraformed to look like the real thing. It just shows that, creating something in Minecraft doesn't have to be as simple as like, oh, let's create big build after big build after big build. You can take something a bit more rural, which in this case is relatively simple in terms of the actual build. It's just walls and pathways and rivers and, really nice things. But if you do it just right, you get this amazing kind of thing where you can create, as you can see right here, the Great Pyramid of Giza inside Minecraft. So the cool thing about this one is it doesn't actually require, building talent per se to make, just a lot of persistence, because you've got to imagine this many court stairs in a row is gonna slowly add up after a while. So yeah, next to the Great Pyramid of Giza, there's I think they're called 3 wife temples, they're slightly small pyramids for each of his wives. I love the as 3 wives, and they all got a temple, they got a pyramid. That's that's pretty good stuff if you ask me. But yeah, as well as that, there's more pyramids around here, and it's just a massive, it's thousands of blocks by thousands of blocks, just recreation of the pyramid area from Giza. Clearly he's a big fan of the place, and yeah, this just goes to show that it does, if you're building something from real life, you don't have to look at something like a giant mega city, which they're always the cool builds, there is one that makes these amazing things to look at, but you can also do something as simple as just like, oh yeah, an Egyptian village or some Egyptian pyramids, which as we all know, I think this is true anywhere, we've all tried to build a pyramid at some point, right? And gone like, oh, let's just build this as big as we can. This is what happens if you you succeed and you build it really, 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 really big, you get something that's just this giant thing to look at. And I think at the very least, this pyramid should be a point to prove that, you don't need to have this amazing grand plan. If you just have the effort to persevere and make something giant, even in survival, you can do something that's just incredible to look at. So yeah, these pyramids are so big that they take up most of my render distance, and it's on 24 chunks. Just goes to show the size of this thing. So yeah, also shows some like how tiny houses can be done with relatively low effort, and how terraforming can really make the difference. Maybe it inspires you in some way there, but if it doesn't, let's move on to the third build here, which is going to be on the other side of the Earth, actually. Well, I mean, New York is kind of on the other side of the Earth. It's not like a full, halfway around the globe. But still, New York is a very different place to, to Egypt and the Great Pyramid of Giza. And, yeah, this is, another example of, like, an urban city dump. But this is, like, taking it to the next level. Because instead of just, oh, here's some impressive builds here, there, New York is one of those cities where just, once you get to Midtown, and this is a recreation of Midtown, just everything is just giant skyscrapers. Even the smallish buildings, this is the Grand Central Station, or it's the Grand something station. It's actually, I believe this is one of the, where I stayed at when I went to New York, and it was just incredible. This is the place you spawn. I'm like, we're in New York, and it's so realistic, because that tower back there, the MetLife one, that's one you could see from pretty much everywhere, and it always bugged me, because what even is MetLife? Is it like Metropolitan Life? Is that like I don't even know, is it like a dating service? I have no idea. There's just a giant tower that always bugged me, and it's here to bug me in Minecraft too. But yeah, this is New York built inside Minecraft. Admittedly, trying to build the entirety of New York is like a futile project, because there's something like, 2,000 separate city blocks, but still, each of these, look at the effort from each of these city blocks, and look at how many this one has done. Again, this is kind of just a show that you don't need to do everything within a city to do something insane, because even within just the, like 50 blocks this clearly must have taken him like literally hundreds of hours, because every one of these buildings, at least on the ground floor, is furnished and is accurate to the way it would be in real life. So this is actually an access to the subway. The subway is only goes to like basic layer of depth hill, but still every single shop has these basic furnishing done and is done to the real world thing. So for instance, this place right here, it's called Pershing Square, and it's actually the exact Pershing Square would be here in a map if you look it up. I looked it up and I was like, oh wow, that's true. Over here you can see there's I think it's like a Barclay something, or the Barclay Rex. There's the the actual street directions and stuff like that. It's really, really incredible that he went through the effort, looking up every single street, or maybe he lives there and he went through the whole thing and found each of these things. It's just incredible to me that someone did build New York inside Minecraft, and they decided to go for the server. Okay, TGI Fridays here, as you can see. Kind of nice, right? Like, they're all themed towards the actual things, and when you consider just how many buildings there is in New York and just how many businesses are inside each of those buildings, it gets just a little bit crazy. Obviously, they're not furnished past the first floor, but even at that point, these are buildings that are like 20, 30, 40 stories. That's the Chrysler building, that's the MetLife building, that's, I don't know, it might be the Empire State Building. I'm not too familiar with my buildings, but still, you can see it's just skyscraper after skyscraper after skyscraper. And although this is the sort of build you embark upon if you have like hundreds of hours to build skyscraper after skyscraper, it is the sort of thing that can show that no matter how big your, how big your project is, you can start with a small area and just expand out. Even just the Grand Central Station is kind of nice by itself. Then you're like, oh, we'll do the blocks around it, and then you do the blocks around that, and then you get this amazing slice of New York. But yeah, this is New York built inside Minecraft. Let's move into the fourth one here, which is somehow even cooler than New York, because again, New York is one of my favorite cities, but there's one place that I preferred visiting to that. And the place I prefer to New York would have to be Chernobyl. So this is Chernobyl, built by Jack Pockco, and it's really ambitious because not only is it Chernobyl, one of the most, incredible, but also I'm almost like sad stories of the real world. But not only is it a recreation of that in a lot of different ways, but it's recreated as a survival games map. So it's made for 16 players for the PC servers and stuff to pick up, and it's one of the coolest maps I've ever seen because. That's a weird place for a block of glass, but it's one of the coolest maps I've ever seen, because although it's not directly accurate, it's not a one-to-one recreation like a lot of these other things we're going for, instead it takes 4 separate areas which are really famous from the Chernobyl disaster. So this is the actual failed reactor itself, let's just go to the one thing everyone recognizes, right? The Ferris wheel. This is the apartment buildings, there's the Ferris wheel nearby, there's all this sort of stuff, and it's a really, really cool and hollowing thing to look at. That's the Russian woodpecker, and just to, kind of explain a few stories of this place, because again, I went here and it was one of the, I guess one of the most, I think the most interesting place I've ever been, and I'd still recommend is like, if you want to go somewhere that's interesting, more than, you know, fun or happy, then this is the place, because, again, Chernobyl is still slightly radioactive, not enough to, like, deter people from going in, but yeah, you can actually go around, you can do tours and stuff, and it's really, really crazy interesting, because a lot of the stuff you just kind of assume isn't necessarily true. So, you know, this place, one, isn't actually called Chernobyl, it's called Pripyat, but two, the Ferris wheel in the, you know, amusement park, you might have seen in real life, like, you know, bumper cars that have just destroyed, you know, this pretty beautiful yellow Ferris wheel that just has never been used, because what you might not know is this place never actually worked as a, you know, it never existed and never functioned as a park. It was built for a particular event. It was going to happen like a month after the disaster, and then when the disaster happened, you know, it was over there, so they're like, oh geez, there's this giant fire and people are getting radiated. Oh, I know how to distract them. So for a few hours on that day before they evacuated, they actually opened the park, and it was only available for a few hours, and while people were using it, they were getting horribly radiated. It's a fun fact about the real world. It's actually the opposite of a fun fact, but still, you can also check out the apartment buildings. Again, Soviet apartment buildings are very, very interesting things, in my opinion. I think I might actually have footage of those too. And yeah, just it's a very, very crazy place to really go through. Again, I guess, you know, like Soviet Union stuff is kind of crazy in general, and this is a cool glance on not only, you know, a Soviet town, not only a Russian woodpecker, which, if you don't know, is one of the like biggest conspiracy theory things like in the world, because you know, like, it's never been properly proven what they did. It's just like, oh yeah, we used them to intercept nukes or something like that. But point being, if you like your conspiracy theories, there's that. But this is one of the most, like, I guess, tragic places on Earth, because this is where the reactor blew up, and really, I don't know, it's one of the defining events of humanity, and it happened here, and this is the sarcophagus around it. It's kind of a cool thing, and also, again, it seems almost weird to say that one of the weirdest things is, you know, one of the most tragic things is cool, but that's what this is right here. But yeah, what I really love about this map is it takes this just kind of eerie thing to look at, it builds it in Minecraft, and it does it so well. Again, it takes different parts of it, so because it's a Hunger Games map, it kind of flows, but because they use the this is built with a desert biome, or it might be a savanna, but you know, it's used you know, a really dry biome, and it makes it look like the radiated grass you actually find somewhere that's, you know, been covered in radiation for 30 years, and it's a very, very, very cool thing in my opinion. Just I love this stuff. Even when you go inside, the fact that they try to go like kind of accurate, but still got the thing. So, you know, in here there's the giant hole where the actual stuff happened. I think that's pretty cool personally, and that's something that you can, I know, kind of you know, glimmer from all of this. So yeah, this is the reactor, the actual thing. That's the woodpecker. That's the fairground. And in general, this is one of the coolest maps I'd ever seen. And I'd love to play survival games on this sometime. Maybe I should like convert it to the console, and you know, we'll have to go do that at some point. I don't know. You might see this at some point again on my channel, because this is just one of those builds that really, really impressed me. So yeah, we got one more you know, one more build from a real life place I'd like to show you. I wonder what that could be, if it's more impressive to me than Chernobyl, or more interesting, I should say, because it's not necessarily impressive anymore. So yeah, let's go there now. Although it's not actually a map, because what it actually is, I just remembered, what it actually is a map we can't go on anymore, because it was a server put up by the Danish government. The Danish government, in you know, it was a couple of years ago now. They actually put up, you know, they built their entire world, or you know, they used surveys and maps and stuff to build their entire world in Minecraft. And although it had a few buildings kind of built in, the idea of it was any Danish citizen could log onto the server, they could build their stuff, and they could kind of hop off. And it was basically a way to encourage community, but inside Minecraft, across an entire country. So yeah, it was one of the biggest like spirit of community things ever, and you can see just how, you know, how amazing it actually does look. How you can see like these amazing mountain ranges, there's this and that, all built inside Minecraft. But then what happened is, let's just say some Americans found the server, and even though the server had a lot of stuff turned on to stop griefing, so TNT didn't work, stuff like that, TNT minecarts had just come out, and they didn't realize that, you know, they are kind of like a separate control. So what happened is some Americans came in, you know, we're assuming, so it could just be people in general. People came in, they blew up all the major buildings, replaced them with American flags. Here you can see they've actually got like a Danish flag at like, you know, down the flag, covered it with American flags, started looking for oil everywhere, and just it's one of those funny events that's just like, oh, internet, why did you do that? And yeah, basically they destroyed the entire server, and the server went down shortly afterwards. So yeah, Danish government tries to create a project to, you know, foster, you know, like companionship, social planning, etc. of their citizens. Americans come in, blow it up, replace it with American flags, and that's the end of that story. And I've told this story maybe like 3 times in videos now, but it's one of my favorites because it just like, why America? Why'd you have to do that? Anyway, yeah, if you did all enjoy today's video, covering 5 amazing iconic places built inside Minecraft, I guess the key lesson here is don't build a country, build something a bit smaller, and don't build it on a server, because, you know, Americans might come to take your oil and cover it in flags. I don't even know, but maybe there's a lesson in that, maybe there's not. I hope you all enjoyed the video regardless. If you did, you can like it and let me know, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching this little video thing on the internet. Again, I think you'll see some of these builds at some point in the future, because I'm always amazed when I see, you know, builds off this scale that took this long, and yeah, maybe it inspired you to be like, you know, my local town centre, or my local, you know, there's this really interesting woods near me, or, you know, I live near insert thing here. Everyone has something interesting nearby, you know, as like Pokemon Go stops will tell you, and maybe you can build one of those in Minecraft, or maybe, you know, you just want to go blow up some other country. Whatever your, you know, your ending thing from this is, I hope you all enjoyed it, because I'll see you all in the next one. Have a nice day, everyone. Goodbye.